Hey everybody, welcome to our video here. I'm Robert Harding with the Skaneateles Journal, joined by Skaneateles Journal editor Jonathan Monfiletto. Did I get that right?
You did, Robert. Good job.
Nailed it. So we're here to recap the local elections for Skaneateles and also talk a little bit about the statewide referendums that residents of New York voted on last week. So Jonathan, let's get started with the local results. What surprises stuck out to you here?
Well, it really
Any
was
surprises?
I don't know if any, being new, maybe I think it was all surprising to me. I've been on the job for about 3 months now, but
Who are these people?
yeah, that was the interesting thing about this election was, for the first time I think in a while, it was a really, really competitive, very contested race, including a new supervisor. With Supervisor Terry Roney deciding not to seek re-election. It was a race between current village trustee Mary Sennett and a current town councilor Jim Greenfield. In the end, Mary Sennett took the supervisor spot, running on the Skaneateles Party, a local independent ticket, also being endorsed by the Democrats. Absentee ballots were counted yesterday, and Sennett took the supervisor spot with 1,308 votes, and Jim Greenfield had 1,241. No real surprises when absentee ballots were counted, as Mary Sennett had a 63-vote lead on election night, ended up with a 67-vote lead in the end. So again, surprising perhaps when election night happened, no surprises when absentee ballots were counted. Same thing in the town board race. You had this time there were incumbents in the race. You had Steve McGlynn and Rick Keyes, both Republicans, also endorsed by the Independence Party, against again the Skaneateles Party with Connie Brace and Claire Robinson Howard. Sort of a surprise, at least to me. Maybe not to those who kind of knew more was going on the inside. Brace and Howard taking the seats after absentee ballots were counted. Brace had 1,343. Howard with 1,310. Again, no surprise because that was the same order on election night. So those two beat out McGlynn and Keyes, the incumbents. In other races, you had 3 unopposed races for town clerk, tax collector, and highway superintendent. The Janet Aaron and Lori Milne hanging on to town clerk and tax collector seats, respectively, and Ellen Wellington taking the highway superintendent spot to replace the retiring Jim Card.
What were some of the bigger issues in this year's local race that may have either helped or hurt some of the candidates involved?
Sure. Easily the biggest issue was the Joint Comprehensive Plan, which is a document between the town and the village that they share to kind of guide their zoning and planning laws. And obviously with such thing as Victory Sports in the forefront, this comprehensive plan and the review process they're doing right now is huge. That probably helped and hurt. It probably helped the Skaneateles Party get their victory as in the Republicans lose, depending on sort of how you felt on the issue and how which candidates' views you supported. The Skaneateles Party is sort of, I don't want to say anti-development, that's the wrong choice of words, but they're more of trying to preserve the character of Skaneateles, protect the lake, try to manage development, I think is a better word. Whereas Republicans, kind of the same token, they also believe in the same things, but we're more open probably to having such projects if they were not harmful to the environment.
Interesting. So on January 1st, I believe, is when they take their new oaths. So who's on the town board now with the results that we have?
Sure. Actually, like I said, Mary Sennett will be in the supervisor spot. You'll have Connie Brace and Claire Howard with the two new board members. Jim Greenfield will still be on the board. He is actually a town councilor, as I said. Still has, I believe, 2 years left on his term, so he won't be up again for about 2 more years. And they'll be joined by Nancy Murray, a fellow Democrat. So the interesting note that besides having a new supervisor and 2 new board members, you have quite a swing in power. Terry Roney is a Republican, obviously, so are Steve McGlynn and Rick Keyes. So you go from having only 1 Democrat on the board to now you only have 1 Republican. So I think it'd be interesting, especially in light of the comprehensive plan, since that is still ongoing, to see how the board, what kind of approach the board takes with that
Sure.
kind of change in perspective.
So obviously, there were other items on the ballot on election night. Statewide voters voted on 6 ballot propositions, including one that received a lot of attention, a casino gaming amendment, constitutional amendment that was on the ballot. That was approved by voters statewide. The margin was about 57% to 43%. Difference of about 300,000 votes, actually more than 300,000. In Onondaga County, actually, this referendum was rejected by voters. I shouldn't say rejected in the official sense, but more voters opposed it than supported it. The unofficial tally was 36,225 against it and 32,857 for it. So there was a little bit of a split there. On the other propositions, after that, the one that got the most attention was one that would raise the retirement age for certain judges, state Supreme Court judges and judges on the Court of Appeals. That was also that was actually rejected by voters by a margin of almost 500,000 votes. Actually, yeah, 500,000. And in Onondaga County, this overwhelmingly opposed it. Voters there, 42,508 voted against it, with 23,637 votes for it. So quite a gap there. Some of the other propositions you may or may not have heard about. Some of these were, admittedly, not as sexy as
Right.
casino gaming and changing retirement ages for judges. One that comes to mind, there was a proposal on the ballot to add a civil service credit for veterans. Of course, we just had Veterans Day, but this would help veterans who are certified disabled after they get an appointment or promotion within civil service. This passed overwhelmingly. Voters certainly supported this. The margin was about 84% to 16%.
Oh, wow.
So clearly they were on board with this. And there were others. There was one dealing with debt limits for sewage facilities. This one received support about 63% to 37%, roughly. We also had 2 propositions dealing with the Adirondack land claims or land swaps, I should say, and both of those were approved as well. So, good night if you're a casino gaming fan. Bad night if you support raising the retirement age for judges. So
I have to ask, why do you think voters in Onondaga County specifically voted against the casino gaming amendment while the rest of the state voted for it?
yeah, I one of the factors here, of course, is part of the casino gaming proposal or the plan that they're going forward with calls for this exclusive zone for the United Nation, and Onondaga County is part of that, which means that no outside companies could come in and build a casino, whether it's in Onondaga County or any other counties covered by this exclusive zone. So that certainly may have had something to do with it. Also, you get into the question of should we be endorsing casino gaming, and some people certainly voted against it for those reasons, that they don't feel comfortable making casino gaming legal in New York. Not only that, but backing it as some sort of economic development initiative. So there were probably a few different reasons why people opposed it, but those are a couple that at least for Onondaga County voters, why they probably voted against it. A majority voted against it. So I think that wraps it up for our election day recap. Anything you want to add on the elections?
I think that's about it, Robert. I did talk to Mary Sennett today to kind of get a reaction now that her victory is official, and she says she's busy kind of learning the town government as she steps up from the village to the town, and she's looking forward to get going. So, and I'm looking forward to kind of seeing what happens come the new year.
Right. So that wraps it up. We'll do these occasionally, kind of recapping the news of the week or the news of a couple weeks or a month. Looking at a wide variety of issues, not just elections or politics, but things that are going on locally, whether it be a feature story, as we call it in the business, or some more news stories that are certainly popular. So look for these videos online at Skaneatelesjournal.com. You can find that. You can point your browser there or search for Skaneateles Journal. Google, Bing, pick your search engine. But we'll wrap it up there, and we'll be back soon with another video on Skaneatelesjournal.com.